Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer and coach from Live, Love, Give, and today I'm bringing you a message as another wake-up call, but today's message is all around the topic of whether if you're wondering who the hell you really are, let me break it down for you so that you can break through. All right, so that is absolutely what today's message is all about, and I can't wait to share it with you. And it comes, very much in alignment with what you guys know I'm always looking to do, which is to ultimately help you to uncover who you really are, what you really want, and have the courage to go after it. And so today's message, I kind of just want to simplify some things for us because we can get so caught up in wondering and losing ourselves in this whole perception of we don't know who we are. And that's where I came from, right? Before I learned any of the stuff that I have learned and put myself through, I just didn't know who I was. And because I didn't know who I was, I was so scared of finally uncovering who I was. It was kind of like a terrifying thing to think about. So all I do was distract myself. And I only could identify who I was based on external sources. I'm so-and-so's best friend, or I'm so-and-so's girlfriend, or I'm so-and-so's daughter, or whatever, And I actually didn't really know above that, like who I really was. Or, I'm a student, or, all those different titles and roles that we put ourselves in that get kind of like, okay, that's who I am, I guess. And instead, I kind of want to just like take it all away. And I just want you guys to I'm just going to break it down like this. You have the choice to be absolutely anybody that you choose to be. You have access to all of the human traits that I have, that you have, that the next person has. We all have access to the vast variety of every single multitude of thousands of different human traits that that people are walking the face of the planet with. But what makes the difference between you and I and our personality is ultimately how we value each and every one of those different traits, and whether or not we are consciously stepping into the traits that we'd be proud to move in the direction of becoming this kind of person, or we're just kind of defaulting based on past experiences, that add up to who we think we are, rather than deciding who we want to be. And if you're not happy in your life, if you're not clear on who you really are, and you're not proud of who you really are, then ultimately all it's saying to you is that you have been living your persona by default, and you haven't decided consciously who you want to be and who you want to become more of. If we can become everything, if we are a blank canvas and every single human trait is the paint that we use to, create the masterpiece that is you, then ultimately you're the painter. You're the one who gets to decide what that looks like. But you think you don't, and that's why you're confused. You think you don't. You think that everything that's happened to you is who you are, rather than deciding, you know what, this inspires me. Or if I could be more like that, that would really make me proud. Or if I could live the life of this way of being, this person, wow, does that energize me? Does that inspire me? Does that bring joy? Does that bring fulfillment to my life? And you have the choice to decide, this is who I want to be, and this is who I no longer stand to be. And that is how we get that clarity, we get that direction, and we get some movement in our lives. Instead of living under the guise of, I don't know who I am and I'm trying to find myself. You are everything. Let me just break it down to that. You are absolutely everything, but what's getting in your way is who you think you are based on your past experiences, and the I don't know mind continually reinforcing to you that you don't have clarity, that you don't know who you are, and you've got to discover who that is. You're everything. You have to not go on the journey of discovering who you are as much as you have to go on the journey of uncovering what really inspires you to the depths of your soul. Not what you think everybody wants you to be, but actually just dreaming big, taking the lid off and deciding who you want to become more of so that you can live a truly inspiring, enriched, fulfilling life. And I just wanted to reiterate this to you guys because, oh my gosh, like it's just, you know, you guys know that I'm going through a lot of the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza. The meditations are all about, you know, identifying who you've been and deciding what's working for you and what's not working for you. And then deciding and relinquishing the need for control and certainty over a persona that isn't working out for you, and getting clear, dreaming bigger, taking the roof off your mind and realizing that you have the full capacity to be any way that you want to be. So you might as well start choosing to be somebody who you're inspired by. And let me remind you, you're never going to be sustainably fulfilled by being somebody that you think other people want you to be. Let me tell you that from direct experience throughout the majority of my life. You know, you guys have heard me talk into being the chameleon, you know, recovering people pleaser, all that stuff that we've all kind of been in our lives at some point. We've sort of molded ourselves as to who we think we need to be in order to gain the love, approval, acceptance, probably ideally from every single human being walking the face of the planet, until you get enough experiences to realize that it doesn't matter what way you're going to be. There's going to be 50% of people who absolutely love you, and there's going to be 50% of people who can't friggin' stand you. And so you might as well step into who you want yourself to be, so that actually, you know, the 50% and the 50% doesn't actually matter, because really what matters is that 100% of you loves the 100% of you that you've consciously chosen to be. All right, so okay, I really want to dive into the chat roll with you guys, because my favorite part is when I get to connect with you guys, and I'm hoping that me sharing this message with you guys has been helpful to you, got you thinking differently. My hope is always that these messages empower you to break you free of like the victimization that we can so easily get caught up in our own little worlds, and worrying about poor me and our lack of clarity and this is just who I am, but it's not working. So, you know, instead of that, like you guys know, the thing that, you know, tears me apart more than anything is to watch any of us, you know, just sell ourselves short into victimhood, into past identities, and not realize that it doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what you've been through, it doesn't matter the environmental circumstances, it doesn't matter about any of that. What really matters is that you believe that you can become a way of being and create the kind of lifestyle that you would be truly fulfilled, inspired, and empowered to live. All right, so, okay, I can keep going on. You guys know me. But I want to check in. Say hi. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. I love hearing from you guys. And if you've got any questions or comments or words of wisdom that you want to share with us all, I would absolutely love to hear from you. So, let me see. I've got Sam in the house. I love it. He's always first. And Alexandria, yay, I love it. And Luke's in the house, and Huss is here, so cool. And Julie, yay, and Judy, and Wyan, and hello to you, Alexandria. And Josie's here, and thank you, Sam. I appreciate your compliments every single day. And Eric is here, and Dala, and Chris is in the house. Good to see you, my friend. And Mary and Misty, exactly, struggling but overcoming. I'm now just me, my own individual. Absolutely, Misty. And I actually just filled in this form, doing something I'll tell you guys about later. But I filled in this form, and one of the questions was, you know, what is your biggest regret, or your biggest mistake, or your biggest regret? And it was like, oh, okay, presented with this question again. And I was like, you know what? Like, I literally, my mind was going to all these different times where I could feel regret. And then I was like, you know what? My mind so easily goes to the other side now that I'm like, oh, I don't regret it at all, because I learnt that, or that made me this way, and it made me value this and experience this. And, You know, I couldn't have the perspective that I have now if I hadn't have had that. So, yeah, absolutely, you know, and that's part of owning who you really are. You know, you can't have regrets when you constantly learn, and you are going to become all of who you can be when you get out of your own way and you start, you know, getting over the struggle and absolutely overcoming it. You know, every challenge in our lives that we might regret or not, you know, molds away, it melts away and it disappears the moment we decide that's, you know, that helped me become more of me. You know, make your goal always to become more of who you are, not shut down parts of who you are. That, you know, and that is what growth is all about. You know, it's becoming more of who you are. What I'm talking about is not deciding, I hate who I am, so I'm going to be this other person. What we're really doing is we're saying, I'm going to break down the walls that have only left me in this one-sided human being, and I'm going to become more of who I am. And that's the whole, you know, that's emotional intelligence. That's having freedom in life, is being able to pull and, you know, draw upon every single human trait as it's going to assist you in any given moment that you get to experience in your life. You know, you want to become everything, not just decide I'm only this or I'm only that, because whatever you repress negatively, you also repress positively. Okay, so you need to know that you are the full spectrum, and when you get that self-awareness, that is when life becomes your masterpiece, that you're absolutely designing and creating yourself and without judgment. So I absolutely love that you're on that journey, Misty. So beautiful for you to share. And Eman is here, and Dave, hello to you, my friend, and Ricky and Matthew and Michael and Dominigo. Love it. And I'm doing really well, Matthew, and I hope you are well as well, my friend. And Huss, hey there, Chris, hey V, hi Limitless Potentialers. I love it. I love having you here, Huss, and I love how you guys interconnect. It always lights me up, as you know. And Darren, Vanessa, how do you choose the friend, and what's the best way to start? Darren, I think you asked me this question a couple of days ago that I answered for you. Give me a little bit more clarity over what's the context here. Like, what are you looking to do over and above what I already answered for you a couple of days ago? I hope you caught that. But let me know. And David's in the house, and Alexandria, yes, for sure, V. Lots of folks are trapped in the limited labels or ideas about roles, and good to remember to transcend and make space for our true selves. Absolutely beautiful spirit sister of mine. Yes, I couldn't agree more. And, you know, whatever serves you, keep doing. Whatever doesn't serve you, stop doing it. It's that simple. Rewrite the program. Identify and acknowledge what roles, what labels are not working for you. They're not uplifting for you. They're not empowering you to move the needle forward towards a new level of your limitless potential. And rewrite that. Decide what would move the needle forward for me. And a great thing to think about is inspiration. What would a life be that would truly enrich your soul, enliven you? What does your relationships look like? What does your health look like? What do your finances look like? How are you living your lifestyle? You know, all those different pieces of the puzzle, get clear on them, and that will direct you towards becoming the person who can attain that kind of result. All right, so I love that, Alexandria. And Dave, we have the artist to create our own story and design our life. True, very true. I love that, Dave. Absolutely. You have the power. Nobody else determines who you are. You know, no circumstances determine who you are. You decide. You create that artwork. So I love that, Dave. Awesome. And Junior Padilla, hello to you from the Philippines. Awesome. I'd love to get there one day. And Yabaz is here. And Chris, I'm loving that you're saying hey to us. I love it. And you, Alexandria. Oh, yeah, I love it. Stephen's here. And Victoria. Wow, how profound. Decide who you want to be. I love that resonated with you. Beautiful, Victoria. Absolutely. Empower yourself. You know, we can get so caught up worrying about how we don't know who we are. And instead, just decide. You have the full blank canvas to be whoever you want to be, so long as you believe that, and get rid of the things that you're holding on to in your past. Get rid of the need for certainty because it will always bring you down. Certainty, when we value it really highly, and I'm talking to you, Victoria, because I know that you've been through the masterclass for the 6 human needs, and anybody else who knows that work, know that certainty, having it really high, makes you want to hold on to an identity of the past or hold on to the fact that you don't know and that you're never going to know, and at least you're certain that you're never going to know or you don't know. You know, it doesn't get you out into the world of change and empowerment. So remember that one. And I love that that resonated with you, Victoria. And Diane's here, and loving that you're finding some truth here, Matthew. And Paul's in the house. I love it. And Dave. I used to live like that, the way others wanted me to be, until I decided to live who I wanted to be and do what I wanted to do because I felt passionate. I love that, Dave. It's so empowering, and definitely that is the journey that I think every single human being has to go through to some degree in order to feel empowered. It's been, for me personally, and I think there's, like I'm always saying, there's always another layer, and I'm going through constant new layers, in terms of opening up more of who I am and always becoming more of who I am, rather than, limiting myself into some other box, or, just doubling down on the same old boxes of identity of who we think we should be in order to gain that acceptance, love, approval, whatever. Might as well gain it directly from yourself, so that the external voices, judgments, criticisms, opinions, all of that stuff just doesn't hold as much weight as your own weight on who you are. So I love that. Thanks so much for sharing, Dave. And Sam, so difficult to write while driving. Oh, driving at the same time. Well, I'm loving that you're using a little bit of net time, no extra time to tune in. I love having you here, but don't crash. Be safe. And Elias is here, and Jolene, and Sam. We'll catch up with you later. You rock, babe. Thanks so much, Sam. Good. Safety first. and Tara's here. Awesome. And Darren, how are you going over there, and what's the best advice for a long-time relationship? Relationship? Okay, Darren, I'm just going to answer in terms of long-term relationship. The key, Tony Robbins would actually say that the key to lasting fulfillment in long-term relationship comes down to selection. I think he says it's something like 95% of the quality or the longevity of the relationship comes down to your selection process. And there's a few different criteria. For me personally, I actually look at alignment, and the number one thing for me is how committed are you both to growing. Simple as that. Because if one of you is really into growth and the other person isn't, and I'm not necessarily because a lot of people get caught in a whole lot of judgment around their partner not growing like they do, and in actual fact we all have our different ways of developing ourselves. But what I'm really talking about is your shared commitment to taking 100% responsibility for where your relationship is at and your own life and your own happiness, and also your commitment to always grow from every challenge and do not rewrite the same mistakes. If you can get those things into play, where you're always taking 100% responsibility, there's no room for blame of the self or the other, you're willing to let go of the past that no longer serves you so you can step into a future that absolutely ignites you, and you're always looking to grow and progress through every challenge, that to me is what is the key and the ticket to an extraordinary quality of lasting relationship. So many different angles and elements that I would dive into there, but that's probably the number one I would say. And thank you for the question, Darren. I love it. And yes, Alexandria, hashtag safety first. Hi, Sam. I love it. And Dave, tuning from Montreal, Canada. Awesome, Dave. Thanks for letting me know. I love hearing where you guys are from. And I love Canada. I've only been to Banff and Calgary, I think it was. But I loved Banff. Oh my gosh, so beautiful. And Lake Louise and all that part is just amazing. But I definitely want to check out more of Canada. And Paul, thumbs up to you, my friend. And so cool. And Alexandria is saying, hey to her house, I love it. And Darren, I'm from Melbourne, Australia. Awesome. Like me, Darren. I love it. Thanks for being here. And Nikki's in the house. And Victoria, this brings such freedom. I'm released from the stress and confusion. How exciting. The sky is the limit. Oh, I'm so inspired. Victoria, you're making my day to hear such a beautiful comment like that. That is absolutely my aim for today's message, is to help you feel more empowered, to relinquish all the confusion and the fear around not knowing who we are, and know that you are everything. So you might as well start designing that canvas from scratch. Who do you really want to be? What would inspire you? Look at the different areas of life. Who would you be proud to be? And take out the filters of any external people or society or whatever, and make sure that it's inspired, coming from within. Okay, so I love that, Victoria. You're a superstar. And Colin, I want to be amazing Vanessa husband. Okay. I don't know, but I love having you here, Colin. Thanks so much for being here. And Julie, steps to take to stop people pleasing. Love it, Julie. The number one step for stopping your people pleasing is to, number one, always acknowledge. You know, self-awareness is number one, the key. So identify and own that you're people pleasing. Identify and really get the gist as to all the different circumstances in your life, the relationships in your life, the ways of being that you're currently operating as a people pleaser. You know, and a people pleaser is ultimately, choosing and molding who they are and how they show up at the expense of the truth of who they are. So they're not being who they are because they fear that that's going to upset, or they're going to lose connection or whatever with another human being or everybody. And ultimately they don't be who they are. So they're not being authentic. They're molding themselves to please others at the expense of their truth. So it's not about, in order to not be a people pleaser, you never please anybody and you're just like, I'm just going to upset everybody. It's ultimately that you show up as the true you no matter what. Sometimes that pleases other people. Sometimes it doesn't. Like I said earlier, we're going to have 50-50. We're going to always have 50% of people who like us and 50% who just don't, right? So you might as well show up as you. But yes, self-awareness is number one. That's the foundation. Identify the times in your life and own it, like where you're showing up as a people pleaser. And really what happens when we're being a people pleaser is that we're overvaluing the voices, judgments, criticisms, opinions, all the rest of it in the external world or everybody else over and above how we think about ourselves, right? So what we need to do is go through a journey of turning up the volume of the voice inside and turning down the voices in the external world, and stepping more fully into who we really want to become, what inspires us without filter. It is a big, long journey, Julie. I can speak from experience on that one. And we're always going to have those things that come up, and we're going to have triggers. Maybe I should do a whole Facebook Live on that topic. Let me know if you guys would like me to come up with some steps for you to stop that people pleasing, so it's not just like a kind of quick answer on a question here. Let me know, drop me a comment, and let me know if you'd like me to do a whole Facebook Live on stopping people pleasing and the steps to take to do so. I'd love to hear from you if you'd like me to do that. But Julie, what I've just shared, just really quickly, I really hope that helps. But remember, we become people pleasers when we are overvaluing everybody else's opinions over and above our own, and when we can turn up the volume of and value our opinion of ourselves much more than anybody in the external world. That is when we can relinquish the need to people please, and we can step forward with courage and authenticity and use that as the filter for all of our relationships. Be willing to walk alone so that you can actually enter truthful, connected, deep relationships that are built on the truth of who you are, not on an image that you're creating to be who somebody else might like. And all that does is, when somebody likes you for who you're pretending to be, is reinforce to yourself that who you are is not lovable, and you've got to keep pretending to be this other person. So anyway, I could talk all day about it, so that's why I want you to let me know if it would be of interest for you for me to create a whole Facebook Live on exactly that topic. Thank you, Julie. And Huss, hey V, does the idea that we can do anything override the teachings that our personality types have a strong tendency towards certain types of work and resistance towards others? So what I would say, Huss, is that with the personality or the frameworks and the models, we do have a natural tendency as to who we've fallen into being. And if that works for us, if being in that personality type, if that's really empowering us, if that makes us feel like we're really good at this thing and we can move in this direction, then why would we change it? Then we should utilize the power of understanding a framework so that we can continue to empower ourselves. But where it doesn't always work and help us is if we decide we're not good at this thing and therefore we're never going to be good at this thing, and we get into a fixed mindset which puts us in a box instead of a growth mindset that decides, you know what? Okay, I might currently be lacking in this way of being because I've been so operating this way, but it would so inspire me to move in this direction. Think about the possibilities I could open up, the jobs I could do that would inspire me more, or the relationships I could have, or the lifestyle I could have. And if you attach enough inspiration to anything and have a mindset of growth mindset, not a fixed closed down mindset, but a growth mindset, I can be any way that I choose to be. And this I am seeing is going to empower me and inspire me much more than how I have been. Move in that direction. I hope that helps you, Huss, but we all, we can't be all things at all times, right? And, the cost of specialization makes it so that how we have been, specializing in this route of being, it takes away from us developing these other ways of being. So that's why inspiration needs to be our guide, and we need to identify, what are those ways of being that are going to lead me towards my ideal life that inspires me, so I can step into the person that I'd be truly proud to be, and let that be our guide rather than a fixed way of being, and knowing full well that cost of specialization, been going down this direction, I'm pretty good at it, right? And so we want to make some changes, we might have to make some shifts, and we might have to go through a whole big growth curve. But if you have enough inspiration and reasons why pulling you through, you'll absolutely do it. So just have a growth mindset and a possibility mindset that you can be any way that you want to be, and who you've been doesn't necessarily mean that's who you're going to be in your future if you choose not to. Love that, Huss. I hope that was of help. And Jessica's here. And Asmatullah, nice to see you as well. And I'm impressed with your lectures. I emotionally energized. I love hearing that, my friend. Thank you so much for letting me know. And I love having you back. And much love to you. And Carl's here as well. And Heidi and Carolina and Bonnie. And hello to you, Bonnie. And Darren. Just trying to find a good romantic relationship, but it's not going too good at the moment. Okay, so, the whole search for love, so many of us can get caught up in this mentality of trying to find a good relationship. I'm trying to find love. I'm searching for love, right? But when we have that, that's the energy that we bring. It's telling us that we don't have it, and that we're always going to be in that same state of being. So I always say, when anybody is looking for, they really want love in their life, they really want a great, extraordinary relationship, I really do advise them to stop searching for love in this needy way, like I'm missing something and I've got to go find it, and instead step more into who you really are, what you really love. Get involved with the things that you love doing. Go and immerse yourself in the stuff that really inspires you and opens up the doors of connections with anybody, and you'll go and you'll find people who are into the same stuff as you, and you won't be trying to search for love. It will come to you when you step into the truth of who you are. Stop trying to find it, start trying to needily search for it, and go and immerse yourself in stuff that you absolutely love. Be open to meeting all sorts of people, and you will discover people who are absolutely in alignment with you, and you never know what will happen. I hope that was helpful, Darren. And Bonnie, you're glowing. Oh, thank you, beautiful. I so appreciate your compliments there. And Matthias is here. And Daryl, hello. And Mayan and Victoria. Yes, I've decided to ditch that certainty. Boom, out the window. I love hearing that, Victoria. Certainty is my lowest human need. It's I rated it like a 3. Any of you guys who've been through the masterclass #1, you already know what I'm talking about, because there's a whole human needs test. I'd invite every single one of you guys who aren't currently in the masterclasses should definitely join. The link is up above. You'll get access to that training. And we've got a new masterclass coming out this Thursday. I'm super excited. All about harnessing the power of masculine and feminine energies for self-empowerment, authenticity, what we're talking about, and attraction for you as well, Darren. There you go. And Jeannie's here. You are a rock star. You are, my friend. And Lauro, hello to you. And Sherry from Pensacola, Florida. I love it, Sherry. I was just in Florida, but not in Pensacola. I actually don't know where that is. I should look that up on a map. I was in West Palm Beach for Date with Destiny back in December. So awesome part of the world. And Matthias, best way to help my parents to let go of their past and move on. Tired, getting them to sport, etc. Not really helping. Oh, I don't really get the last bit, but best way to help my parents to let go of their past and move on. I am always saying, Matthias, to be a leader in what you want. You know, because we can get so caught up in seeing what people are doing wrong and we want them to change. And of course, the more we love them, the more we can see, you know, that we want them to be empowered. We want them to do something like that, like let go of the past and move on. You know, be the leader. You know, be a walking and shining example. Because I'm probably guessing that you've probably tried to do this for a while now. And, you know, you've been trying to get them to, or telling them, you know, you should let go of the past and you should move on and blah, blah, blah. But how much are you doing that in your own world, and how are you showing them the pathway forward? When you can show people what it looks like, everybody starts doing it. You know, when you tell people, you know, some people might take you up on that, but if you show them and you're a walking example of the empowerment and embodiment of what's possible for them, that is how you will inspire them to do what you're trying to get them to do. But at the end of the day, you know, you've got to also relinquish your need to control how they operate. You can only do so much. You can only influence. You can't control any other human being. And if you care for them and love them enough, be that walking example. Paint the picture forward for them without trying to force them or control them. That would be my short answer for you without really knowing the circumstances. But I really hope that that is of value to you, Matthias. And I so appreciate you being here and for asking your questions. And Ty's here as well, and Kelly and Bonnie. Such a powerful shift to come from externally pleasing to internally satisfying. Boom. I absolutely love that, Bonnie, and couldn't agree more, my love. And Grant's here, and yes, from Victoria, and yes, Dave, I'm sure I would like you to do a Facebook Live about people pleasing. Awesome. And Sherry, yes, my daughter Rachel is a big people pleaser, drives me crazy as her mother. I love it, Sherry. Absolutely. You guys are inspiring me to do it. And Adrian and Ashley is here, and Huss. Yes, yes, at DV, don't limit myself. Keep a growth mindset in all areas. I can always learn and grow no matter what it is. Love this. Thank you, my Aussie friend. I love it. My Kelly friend. Absolutely. So I've actually been thinking a lot into this because all the work that I do is, you know, around frameworks for human development, human potential, all that, human behavior, all those sort of things. And frameworks are so good at building a baseline foundational self-awareness piece, but then you have to be able to break free of the confines of frameworks, you know. They're great initially, and then we need to move beyond them. So I love that, Huss. You're such an action taker, so you know how much I love that. And Emma is here, awesome. And Julie, thank you, Vanessa. I pursue peace in my relationships. People pleasing has been my go-to coping mechanism to keep the peace. I would love to hear you address people pleasing as a future topic in your Facebook Live sessions. Absolutely. Okay, you guys have. I'm definitely doing it. How about I do that for you guys tomorrow? So stay tuned. I will create a whole Facebook Live for you guys with a step-by-step to overcoming people pleasing based on you guys giving me the feedback that you'd love that. So I so appreciate you guys when you give me the feedback and let me know what inspires you, what you'd love to hear a perspective on, because I show up every single day so that I can add value to you. So if you make my job much easier by telling me what you want and what's of value to you. So love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Julie. And yeah, keeping the peace, walking on the eggshells. It's just not worth you selling your truth out for. And I'll talk all about that in tomorrow's Facebook Live for you. And Sam, you're catching up with the last bit. I'm glad to see you made it and didn't crash or anything. And Sherry, that was good. Love hearing that. And Dave, awesome. All right, guys, that is my message for you. I so appreciate each and every one of you guys for showing up live with me. It's my favorite part, getting to check in with you guys and getting to connect and answer any questions or hear your words of wisdom. I so love it. And Sam, you'd love that Facebook as well. Can't wait. Awesome. I'll see you guys on that tomorrow. And I hope that today's message has kind of just given you some clarity out of the confusion so that you can actually break through. All right, so I am, as always, guys, sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really do hope that you're having a beautiful experience today. And it's sunny here. I'm about to go hit up the gym and get back into some work. So I hope that you guys are having a brilliant day. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'm sending you all of my love.